Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters, and welcome back to the Islamic Shahada channel. As of 2025, Islam remains one of the world's largest and fastest growing religions. With over 2 billion adherents worldwide, Muslims make up about 24% of the global population. The religion, founded in the 7th century by Prophet Muhammad in the Arabian Peninsula, continues to thrive across diverse regions, from Southeast Asia to the Middle East, North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, and parts of Europe. The majority of Muslims follow either Sunni Islam, about 85 to 90%, or Shia Islam, about 10 to 15%. Islamic practices such as the 5 pillars, Shahada, Salat, Zakat, Saum, and Hajj, are central to the faith, promoting the oneness of God, Allah, regular prayer, charity, fasting during Ramadan, and pilgrimage to Mecca. As the Muslim population continues to grow, especially in Africa and Asia, the religion's global influence expands, impacting politics, culture, economics, and society worldwide. Here are the 10 countries with the largest Muslim populations in the world in 2025. Sudan, around 39.6 million Muslims. Sudan's population is predominantly Muslim, with Islam being the state religion. The country's Muslim population follows mainly Sunni Islam, with influences from the Sufi tradition. Sudan's Islamic identity has been a critical factor in its political and cultural history, particularly in the context of its long-running civil conflicts and its efforts to define its national identity. Algeria, around 41.2 million Muslims. Algeria is a North African country with a predominantly Sunni Muslim population, constituting over 99% of the population. Islam in Algeria has deeply intertwined with the country's history, especially during its struggle for independence from France. Today, Algeria maintains a secular government, but Islam plays a central role in its national identity. Turkey, around 74.4 million Muslims. Turkey is a transcontinental country with a rich Islamic heritage, where around 97% of its population are Muslims, primarily Sunni. While Turkey has a secular government, the country's Islamic roots influence its culture, daily life, and politics, especially in recent decades under President Erdogan's rule, which has seen a shift towards more visible Islamic governance. Iran, around 82.5 million Muslims. Iran is a Shia-majority country, and it has the largest Shia Muslim population globally, with over 99% of its population identifying as Muslim. The Iranian Revolution of 1979 established an Islamic republic that profoundly shaped the country's political, social, and cultural landscape. Iran's role in global geopolitics is closely tied to its Islamic identity. Egypt, around 85 million to 90 million Muslims. Islam is the dominant religion in Egypt, with around 90% of its population following the faith. Egypt is home to Al-Azhar University, one of the oldest and most influential centers of Islamic learning in the world. Egyptian Islam is primarily Sunni, and the country has a long history of Islamic influence in politics, education, and culture. Nigeria, between 95 million and 103 million Muslims. Nigeria is home to a large and diverse Muslim population, with Islam prevalent mainly in the northern part of the country. Muslims make up about 50% of Nigeria's population, and the country represents a blend of Islamic and African traditions, with both Sunni and Shia Muslims present. Bangladesh, around 150.8 million Muslims. Bangladesh has one of the highest percentages of Muslims in its population, with over 90% of its 175 million people adhering to Islam, primarily Sunni. Bangladesh's identity and culture are shaped by its Islamic traditions, and the practice of Islam is a significant part of daily life. India, around 200 million Muslims. India has the third largest Muslim population in the world. Despite being a Hindu-majority country, India's Muslim population is diverse, representing 14% of the total population. Islam in India has a rich history and continues to influence cultural, social, and political life, with diverse schools of thought and various Islamic practices. Indonesia, around 236 million Muslims. Indonesia is the largest Muslim-majority country in terms of population, with approximately 87% of its 275 million people adhering to Islam. Although Indonesia is a secular country in terms of governance, Islam plays a major role in its culture and traditions, with a large proportion of its population practicing Sunni Islam. Pakistan, approx. 240.8 million Muslims. Pakistan stands as the country with the largest Muslim population in the world. Islam is the state religion, and nearly 98% of Pakistan's population are Muslims, with the majority being Sunni Muslims. The country is deeply influenced by Islamic culture, law, and practices, and the influence of Islam in its political and social systems is significant. As of 2025, Islam remains a vibrant and diverse global religion, with its followers spread across various regions, cultures, and traditions. The countries with the largest Muslim populations, such as Pakistan, Indonesia, and India, represent a wide array of practices, from Sunni majorities to Shia strongholds. The influence of Islam on these nations' political, cultural, and social fabric continues to evolve. In regions like Sub-Saharan Africa and Southeast Asia, the Muslim population is experiencing significant growth, contributing to the global influence of Islam. As these regions develop economically and politically, Islam's role in shaping global trends will become even more prominent, creating both opportunities and challenges for interfaith dialogue, governance, and international relations. As additional information, Saudi Arabia may not be among the top 10 countries with the largest Muslim populations, but it remains one of the most influential in the Islamic world. With a population of approximately 36 to 38 million people, almost all of whom are Muslim, its numbers are relatively small compared to countries like Pakistan, Indonesia, and India, which each have hundreds of millions of Muslims. However, despite its smaller population, Saudi Arabia holds immense influence in the Muslim world. Several key factors contribute to this. The two holiest cities. Saudi Arabia is home to Mecca and Medina, the two holiest cities in Islam. These cities are the ultimate pilgrimage destinations for Muslims worldwide. The Hajj and Umrah pilgrimage. Each year, millions of Muslims from around the world travel to Mecca to perform Hajj and Umrah, reinforcing Saudi Arabia's religious significance. Economic power and oil reserves. Saudi Arabia possesses some of the world's largest oil reserves, making it one of the wealthiest and most economically influential nations. Funding for Islamic projects. The country finances numerous global Islamic initiatives, including the construction of mosques, Islamic universities, and humanitarian aid projects. A center for Sunni Islam. Saudi Arabia is a central hub for Sunni Islam, particularly the Wahhabi movement, which has influenced many parts of the Muslim world. Religious authority and influence. Saudi scholars' fatwas, religious rulings, and Islamic policies often serve as references for other Muslim-majority countries. Leadership in the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC. Saudi Arabia plays a leading role in the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, coordinating the interests of the Muslim world, political and diplomatic influence. As a dominant Arab nation, Saudi Arabia plays a crucial role in Middle Eastern politics and international relations among Muslim-majority countries. Despite not having the largest Muslim population, Saudi Arabia remains the most influential Islamic country. Its impact extends beyond religion and spirituality, encompassing economic power, political leadership, and global contributions to the Islamic world. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope it was useful. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.